Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the THW NHL News and Rumors Rundown. My name is Jim Parsons. I'm here with the HockeyWriters.com. Lots to go through. It's been a little while since we've done a video, but we have tons of news heading towards the NHL trade deadline, which is just a few weeks away, March 21st, so we're not far off. It's now March 1st, so lots to talk about. Just a quick reminder before we get right into it, though, if you want to follow us on the Hockey Writers, you can do so in a few different ways. Obviously, go to the HockeyWriters.com. You can check out the Hockey Writers on Facebook. Facebook.com/HockeyWriters, Hockey Writer on Twitter, the MorningSkate.io newsletter, podcasts, videos on the YouTube page, all sorts of stuff. Lots going on. So let's get right into it. Some of the big news. Obviously, today there was big news for Chicago fans. The Blackhawks have hired general manager Kyle Davidson. So this is official now. He's no longer the interim guy. He's now the full-time guy going in. Lots to talk about, lots to do. He's going to have some big items on his to-do list moving forward, including what he's going to do with the NHL trade deadline, which could include Brandon Hagel. Maybe it doesn't. There's a lot of talk the teams are really interested in Hagel, but there's also talk the Chicago Blackhawks are not at all interested in moving him. They might be seeing what's out there in the trade market, but it doesn't sound like they're going to send him anywhere. They really like what he has to offer. They like his team-friendly contract. There's a lot to like about this player, and that could be why teams are interested. But expect Chicago to be players here in terms of other deals, other players. Maybe Marc-Andre Fleury still out there. Calvin DeHaan. There's lots going on in Chicago, so we're going to keep our eyes on that one and that team moving forward. Edmonton Oilers news. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is going to be out at least 2 to 3 weeks. He's no longer with the Oilers on their road trip. He's been sent home to Edmonton. Is at least out a couple weeks here with a shoulder injury. Duncan Keith is back, though, for the Oilers. He'll be playing against the Philadelphia Flyers. Kyler Yamamoto is still out. Jesse Puljujarvi is still out. There's lots going on here. Oilers, we're not really sure exactly what they're going to be doing at the trade deadline, probably because of all these injuries. And there's a lot going on in salary cap. They can't really do much. So we'll see exactly where the Oilers go. They still need a goaltender. They still want an extra defenseman. And if these injuries are bad enough, they might need another top six forward. So we'll see what happens there. Alexander Georgiev out of the New York Rangers organization. Here's a goalie that we should probably keep our eyes on. Lots of talk that he is probably going to be moved. The way that Igor Shesterkin has been playing for the Rangers, they're good there. They're happy with that. Now, the Rangers are obviously going to want a backup, but they could find another option, a cheaper option. Georgiev's probably going to be moved simply because they don't see him as a future member of this organization. He's an RFA. There's some team control. There's a lot of teams out there looking for a goalie, and he could be one that fits. So expect to see and hear a lot of talk around him as the deadline kind of winds down here over the next 3 weeks. Joe Pavelski is another name that we're watching here for the NHL trade deadline, but there is talk in Dallas that he has started negotiations with the Stars about an extension. He's very happy there. He says his family's very happy there. The question is, what is he going to get paid? He's a $7 million player right now, but he's also pretty old. But he's one of those few older guys that's playing so well that you might actually see him get a raise on his $7 million salary, which is crazy at this point. But the Dallas Stars really would like him, so there's some early conversations going on there. We'll see if that amounts to anything. Filip Forsberg out of Nashville, there was some talk that he was being actively shopped by the Predators. David Poile, the GM of Nashville, has denied those rumors and said, no, I am not actively shopping him. That does not mean he's not listening to offers, that there hasn't been some discussion about whether or not Forsberg is going to be traded, but the Predators are not actively looking to move him. There's a lot of talk he's not going to be part of this team, that he's going to price himself out of that market, that he is looking to hit a home run in free agency, that the Predators won't be able to afford to keep him based on other salaries that they're paying, that some team's going to come and overpay for Forsberg. He's a really, really solid player, but is he a megastar in the $9 million range? Yeah, I don't think the Predators think so. So we'll see what happens there, whether or not he gets moved. But it doesn't sound like they're actively shopping him, although they probably are listening on some conversations. Finally, in the Montreal Canadiens organization, General Manager Ken Hughes, he has said that he is actively going to be involved in the free agent market this summer. So for a team that looks like they're rebuilding, retooling, they're taking the New York Rangers approach, and of course they are. Jeff Gordon's now with the Montreal Canadiens, and he did this in New York when he signed Artemi Panarin. They're going to speed up this rebuild, this retool as much as they possibly can. They're looking to sign at least 1 or 2 big names this summer. So expect the Montreal Canadiens to be active, selling a lot of players, Ben Sherratt, maybe Jeff Petrie, who knows who else is going to be going. But they're going to be adding this summer, so it's not like they're just picking up draft picks and prospects. They're going to be picking up players in the summertime and the offseason to really try to speed this thing up. They do not want this rebuild to be prolonged or longer than it needs to be. So watch for Montreal. They could be very, very busy here over the next few months. Not just sellers, but also buyers this summer and sometime around the draft. We'll keep our eyes on that one. That's going to do it for this week. Don't forget, check out thehockeyraiders.com. My name is Jim Parsons. It's been another edition of the THW NHL News and Rumors Rundown, and we'll talk to you guys next week as we get closer to the deadline. It's coming. Super exciting.